So this is my center console armrest. I'm going to attempt to take it and turn it into a cup holder. Open it up, there's all your little crap that's in there. Up here I have a cup holder, two of them, but the clips are broken, and it's been like that since I got the thing. And I don't feel like replacing that because I'm sure it's like 25 bucks or something for that little piece. And I know I could go to a salvage yard and get it for a lot cheaper, but even then I don't really like it because whenever you fully extend it and you put your soda in there or whatever, it's right in the way of all your climate control knobs. So I don't want that anyway. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to take all of this off. I don't know if I'm going to take the padding off because it does have the shape, but I'm going to fiberglass it and put a cup holder in there and lock all this up to where it doesn't open anymore. And I'm going to attempt to do that. So here it is. I've taken the little inserts and all this stuff out of them. And this is it. It's got a foam inside of it. This one's got a piece of metal in between two pieces of foam. This one's just straight foam, you can see. But it's metal all around it. So we're going to take all of this plastic leather stuff. I'm going to take all this leather off and then figure out what we're going to do from there. Okay, well, here it is with the casing or whatever you want to call it taken off. All this foam. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave the foam on just for, to keep the structure the way it was, because there's quite a lot of foam. This piece right here is pretty much all metal. This piece, on the other hand, has a lot of just, it's metal for the surrounding structure and everything, but it's just a lot of just foam. So I think for the structure of it, I'm just going to leave it fiberglass over it. Here is the cup holder. I'm getting rid of this nasty old couch, and it actually came out of it. I'm gonna use that, clean this out. I may trim down some of this stuff just to get the shape a little bit better, and then I'll lay resin and fiberglass all around it, lock it all up. So there it is. It's in there. Sits pretty flush on it. I forgot that my little hole cutting tool was actually for wood and not metal, so I had to pretty much just take a metal drill and drill a bunch of holes here and then beat it out with a hammer pretty much. But it sits in there pretty well, and once I get the fiberglass and resin put all over the top of it and everything, sand it down, it should look all like one piece. Okay, so one thing I didn't show you in another video was I put foam inside here to make it all one piece and just to make it easier to work with. This is my first go over with the resin and fiberglass. This part right here turned out pretty well. This all here looks like crap, but the thing is, after this all dries, tomorrow I'm gonna go over the bottom part of it, let it dry, and then go over it again with fiberglass and resin, just to make it a little bit stronger, and I think it'll look a little bit better. Then we'll sand it and paint it. Alright, so I've put 2 layers of fiberglass and resin on here, sanded it down, blew it all off with my air compressor. There's a couple of spots here that are a little problematic, like this. I'd like to sand that down a little bit more, or since this is not anywhere near a professional job, I may just go ahead and put the body filler over it and just see what it does. This is just for my own truck, but yeah, tomorrow I'll put body filler all over it, and it should start coming together and actually looking like something. And we'll be back whenever I do that. Okay, so last night I went over this with some body filler, and then I just went over it with my palm sander and smoothed out everything. Not completely, of course, and I kind of ran out of body filler around here, so I'm probably gonna have to go over it again with another layer. Got several low spots in the thing, so but yeah, I went over it with my palm sander, and now to get rid of all this stuff and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and wet sand it. Okay, so I wet sanded it. Definitely didn't do a whole lot of good. I mean, it feels a lot smoother to the touch, but spots like this and this definitely gonna have to be sanded over again. I actually kind of on this end kind of went over with body filler a little too thick, so, and where's that one spot like this, it's a little bit too thick, and I'm gonna have to go sand it down again to bring down those low spots. Spots like this, and on this side I'm gonna have to get my Dremel and get that out, because there's actually this little piece is supposed to go on top and touch the bottom, and it won't because I got body filler all on there. Okay, so instead of putting glazing putty on everything, like I said I was going to, I mixed up some Rondo, which is just, I mean, there's several different mixtures that I've read, but this one was just lightweight body filler and resin with the liquid hardener, and it pretty much smooths out, and it's kind of like self-leveling, and it smooths out everything. It's a lot smoother than it was. It's still a little bit tacky, especially on the backside. The backside's the one that I did the top side first. Anyway, I mean, there's parts here where it started to kind of get a little dry on me, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna let this dry overnight, that way it stops being tacky and everything. Then I'm gonna wet sand the whole thing, and then go over it with glazing putty for little, like these little pinholes and whatnot. Go over that with the glazing putty, and then I'll wet sand it again, and then we'll hit it with primer, and it should start looking pretty nice. Okay, so last night I went over this with another layer of Rondo. This time I did a little different because I ran out of resin. I had to do lightweight body filler, the cream hardener, and acetone. My only suggestion is, if you were using that mixture, is to go over it quicker than you normally would, because it dries a lot faster. Also, this part right here that looks real like milky, there was a dent in here, and I fixed that by taking some 2-part 5-minute epoxy and mixing that with baking powder, and it actually worked out pretty well. But anyway, we are going to hit this up with some 2-in-1 filler and sandable primer, and then install it, and I'll show you what that looks like when we get back. Okay, so finished product. It doesn't fit up in here. This part sags down too much. It's always done that. This never actually fit up in here. I forgot I need to put a handle on here at some point. You can see I kind of messed up a few things, but I'm going to put a handle on this at some point and go over this all again. But it also, this isn't a professional done job. It's just something I wanted done for me, so I don't really care about these little bitty mistakes. But boom. cup holder. Don't drink and drive.